Welcome to another episode of Can Do Conversations Q&A edition. I am Cheryl Williams.
I'm CJ Williams. Thank you for being here.
Yes, we appreciate you guys being here, and this is all about conversation, right? We keep talking about conversations. However, we want to hear from you, and so that's what we've got today is you guys are part of the conversation, front and center. We compiled a lot of questions that we got. There was a lot of overlaps and some other ones. So we're gonna go through and pick out a few of the questions, and these are primarily from last week's episodes. So we want to be able to.
So that's what's going to happen in the order.
Yeah, we're going to start. When we have a week of episodes that come out, the following week we're going to have Q&A that you guys have on those. So any questions and things that you have, we're going to kind of just start answering those as we go along. That way, because a confused mind doesn't move forward. So if you have a question or you're not sure about something, we want to answer that for you so you can keep taking action.
Correct.
Okay? So with that being said, if you have a question once you listen to one of the episodes, feel free to add it as a comment, send us an email, get a hold of us, and we will see if we can get that answered on one of our Q&A episodes.
We love them.
So we are going to jump right in today to question number 1, and it is, why is it important to put a plan down on paper?
You know where you're going. You know where you're thinking, where the universe is taking you, because you've already written it down on paper. So it's going to guide you in the right direction, and you're constantly going to think about where you're going to go, even with little pivots or not.
And another reason that I like to put things down on paper is because it gets it out of your mind and it gets it in front of you.
And in motion.
It gets it so that you can actually see. It's a visual. And so you're not just, okay, it's in my mind. Yeah, I've got this idea. I've got this thing. I'm putting it. When you put your plan down on paper, you can actually see it. And then you can decide, do I like, is that really what I want to do? Do I want to shift or change or tweak?
Right, or change a time frame.
And so when you get something down on paper, it makes it more tangible because here it is, right? This is actually
the universe.
Something that you have to work with. And so you can see it, you can kind of feel it, right? It's out of your head and onto paper. So then you can also talk to someone else about, like, look, are we on the same page here? Okay. So, you're looking at that and you're getting everybody, that was good.
That was
Come
good.
On, that was boom. Okay. So we're getting everybody on the same page. And you're like, no, I thought we were going to do this over here at this point. Or I want to do this, or let's move this or change this or tweak this. So when you actually get it down on paper, it's out of your head. It's not just something that's rolling around that you're thinking about.
Constantly
you're
going
getting
over
it
and
on
over
paper. And then you're able to start chunking that down as well into the action component. And so the other reason it's so important to get your plan on paper, because then you're able to take action. Because you're just like, okay, these are the things we're doing. Here are the actions that I need to take.
Right. You can't take action first without a plan.
And so it's like it's your roadmap. It is your directions of how you're going to get to where you want to go.
If not, you'll be going in circles.
And that's the main reasons as to why. And it's multifaceted, because then you're not just thinking about it, you're able to see it, you're able to say it, you're able to have conversations about it, you're able to change or tweak some things.
And then you're going to be even happier that it's out and that it's molded into something beautiful.
So definitely get it down on paper and out, so that way you can start moving forward in the action components. Okay, next question. How can I overcome nervousness or fear about pursuing my goals? Well, there's a challenge in this question already, that if you are nervous or you're fearful, that you shouldn't take action. And it's actually, you take action in spite of the nervousness, in spite of the fear, in spite of what other people might think. You do it anyways. You feel that uncomfortability and you still move forward.
You should feel nervous by not doing it.
Uneasy.
Uneasy nervousness from not doing what you want, what you're guided to do.
And I think it's also, we like to slap labels on things, right? Oh, I'm nervous. Ooh, I'm anxious. Ooh,
not spank.
No. We're slapping labels over here. We're putting labels on, okay? And so many people like, I'm this. Oh, no, I'm that. Oh, what hat am I? And it's like, how about we stop labeling and how about we just start doing, okay?
There you go.
Feel the little, whatever you want to call it, and keep doing it anyways, right? Maybe you are nervous. Great. Then keep moving, because
Yes.
the more action you put behind that, the less nervous you're going to be, because
Yes.
you're nervous, if you want to call it that, nervous, uneasy, anxious, what was the word? Fearful, right?
Yeah.
Because you
It's just
haven't
anxious.
done it.
Yes.
Right? And that is the emotion that you're associating with that. That
For
doesn't
not
mean
doing it.
stop. That just means pay attention and
Yes.
keep moving
And
forward.
put your foot on the gas.
Right? So let's say, feel the fear and do it anyways. Go ahead and feel that, whatever that is for you, and don't let it stop you. Let it motivate you to keep moving forward.
Yes, that is your motivation. When you are feeling the butterflies, it's you really getting excited about what you're doing.
And so instead of labeling things as a negative, how can you label that and turn it
Positive.
into a positive so it serves you, right?
Yes.
Instead of saying I'm, nervous and fearful, how about you say I'm excited and, I'm ready to get going. It's
Right.
how do you frame that so that it works for you so that you can continue moving forward? And that's why, just slapping labels or putting things on there puts you into a box, and it kind of holds you back, right? And so let go of the labels, open
All
the
the
box,
straps,
and let
yes.
yourself out and keep moving and feel the feels, right? Go
Yep.
through that, but just pay attention, take some notes, okay? And you keep going.
Yes. It's going to be a big relief lifted off of you.
And the more that you
You're
do
going
it,
to feel wonderful.
the easier it's going to get to keep doing that habit, because you're used to, okay, I feel AB's fill in the blank, right? And I keep moving.
Let's go.
So that's that one.
Yep.
All right, next question. How can I adapt and pivot my plan when life throws unexpected challenges?
There's going to be challenges all the time. There's going to be pivots. And a pivot is good because that means it stopped you from going in the wrong direction. A pivot is good to go in the right direction because the one above made it happen. It's a pivot. It wasn't the right time. So pivot is good.
And you also,
And make that into the positive.
yeah, just like we were talking about in the last one.
Right.
It's like nothing is going to go according to plan. And if you expect everything to go
Be
according
perfect.
to plan, you're going to have some rude
challenges.
awakenings coming your
Yes.
way, because nothing goes according to plan. And that's okay. That's why we say you want to talk, plan, and take action. But you've got to continually pivot, move,
Right.
change. The closer you get to something, the more specific you need to be.
Right.
The further away, you're a little bit more broad. And so there's gonna be roadblocks. And when a hurdle or a roadblock or a setback comes up or a challenge, you say, okay, how am I going around this, over it, through it? How am I
Bust
course
right through
correcting?
it.
How can I get still to the end result of where you're wanting to go? But maybe you need to go on a detour for a little bit. Maybe you
Yes.
need to take,
And there's nothing wrong with a detour.
that bumpy road. Maybe it's not the smooth paved road that you thought you set out on. Maybe it's a backwoods, bumpy road. It's got a lot of stuff going, and you've got to knuckle down and get through that to
Yes.
come out the other side, right? It's like weathering
Right.
that storm. When the storm goes, it's beautiful.
And you're going to learn from it also.
Yeah.
Because it's going to put you in a different place.
You're always learning. You're always growing. You're
Yes.
always changing. You're not the same person today as you were yesterday. And so you're going to have these challenges and setbacks. Expect them. And when you expect them, then you know, okay, I'm going to do
there's
this, or
another
I'm
one.
going to do that.
Yes.
And
It's
so
going to feel like nothing.
you just keep, you kind of bob and weave. You just go through it. And if you've ever been on one of those cars where it's like a really bumpy, the more that you try to sit all stiff and rigid, the more you feel the bumps. Versus if you start going with
Or on a
it
horse.
and moving with it and kind of, okay, here we go. We're
Yep.
moving through this. You're able to take
Yes.
on those challenges, hurdles, and setbacks
Yep.
and move
And
forward.
learn from it.
Yep. So we're always learning. Okay, next. How should I handle setbacks and distractions that may come my way? So this is similar
It's
to the
very
other
similar.
one. And it's just worded a little bit differently, but I wanted to showcase that because again, it's how you word things. It can
Change the perception
of what
that,
you
right?
think. So someone else will be like, well, that wasn't my question. Well, here's your question. It's like, how do you handle it? You do. You take it. You don't know what's coming your way. And so when something's coming your way,
Yes.
you listen. You absorb and say, okay, now what? Where am I going? And you keep your eye on the end result of where you're wanting to go
Right.
and what you're wanting to do. So when those things come your way, you just you keep your eye on where you're
move
going.
easily. By thinking ahead, it's not going to feel like a big bump when it comes that way because you're almost pushing it to the side And if you're not thinking ahead, it's going to feel like a big bump and a pivot, and it's going to stop you. But if you're thinking ahead automatically, it might not be as big as you think it's going to be.
And that's why
it's when you make it into something.
And a lot of times you make a mountain out of a molehill, right? It's like in your mind, you've made this thing up into something huge.
Yes, until you walk there and get up on it.
And you're like, oh, that's all it was?
That's it.
Okay, next, right? And so you start getting those wins and those accomplishments under your belt, and you just keep moving forward. Next, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you start being able to take on more at the same time because you start getting that confidence in yourself that nothing's going to stop you, nothing's going to stand in your way, and you keep moving forward.
It'll make you stronger.
It will. All right, how can I discard old beliefs and take control of my thoughts and actions? You just do.
Just flip the switch.
Yep.
I'm powerful. I can do anything. It's what you tell yourself.
And so in an instant you can change. In an instant you can have a different belief. In an instant you can have a different thought. And so thinking that it's the analysis paralysis that, oh, well, how, I've got this,
too much analyzing.
Challenge over
Let me
here.
grab this book and write 10 things out.
And so the way that you do it is by doing it, right? Not by thinking about it, not by overanalyzing it, not by, I wish it was this.
Oh, telling somebody like, oh, I'm going through all this or this and that. No.
It's like,
or I'm feeling this.
Get yourself out of that. And the way you get yourself out of it is through action. And that's why we talk about all the time.
The steps.
It's taking that action to consistently get you where you're wanting to go. And so if you have negative, limiting beliefs, then fill that with
something
positive beliefs. Fill that with things that are going to serve you. Fill that with things that are helping you and change those thoughts. And as they come up, say, nope, and you flip it and you keep moving.
Just if somebody's around you in your ear who's doing that to you, realize that also and make sure you close the door on them.
And maybe they shouldn't be around. That's why, you've got to audit who you have around you too, because if you're working on yourself and you're working on being better and growing and changing and expanding and evolving, and these people around you are not, they're going to pull you back down. Plus they're going to be talking in your ear, and then you're not going to be able to stay as focused on where you need to go either. So sometimes you've got to, close the door. Sometimes you got to kick the door.
Later.
Sometimes you got to lock the door.
I'll talk to you next week. And that call will never come.
Right. So just keep doing you. Keep focused on where you're going and what you're wanting, and work on putting those beliefs in that are going to actually serve you and what you're wanting to go. And when that negative, when you start feeling that nope, we're not doing that. We're going over here. We're changing it. Don't let it continue to grow and fester.
Yes, it will.
How can I improve my relationships by focusing on my mindset and physical well-being? This kind of dovetails. We were talking about relationships, and relationships are normally you're around people either for a reason or for a season, right? Sometimes a lifetime. And so certain people are in your life, but as you work on your mindset, as you work on your body, as you work on your fitness and your wellness, your relationships are going to change as well.
They're going to change a lot.
And change is not a bad thing. I mean, change is something that you need to change. We have 4 seasons a year, right? That's all change. That's all growth. Sometimes you got to go through, the winter and where you're kind of riding out that storm and things are cold. You're kind of versus to have that beautiful spring, right? And so the same thing in your relationships.
And they're going to come in and they're going to come out.
And sometimes people are there for a short time and it's serving you. Other times, you've got to and sometimes you have to love people from afar. And you can say, I love you, and this is not someone I need in my life right up close
at
right now. I can love them from afar. I can still, care about them and care for that person, but I don't need them in my sphere of influence and in my circle right here, right now.
Because you are growing, and sometimes the other person might not be growing at that moment. But by you doing what you're doing, they're going to watch. They're going to see what you're doing because you're posting, you're looking good, you're feeling good, your mental attitude is strong, and you're going to help other people by being stronger.
And sometimes you got to let go to level up, meaning that sometimes you got to let go of old friends or old acquaintances to be able to get new ones that are on the level that you're on, or the path that you're on right now. And then as you continue to level
parallel with you,
maybe those will transform and grow as well. And so not always looking back, because you're not going that way. You're going forward. And so sometimes you need to have more new people on your path, on the journey that you're going on.
Yes, and so they will help you on that journey also.
And that's part of why we're here. We know that, it can be challenging. It can be, a little bit scary, or, sometimes a little bit uneasy to know, where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I? Who do I have to talk with? You got us. That's what we're here for,
we're here
right?
For you.
And that's what
I say it all the time.
That's my saying. The can-do community that we have is there for you as well, because everyone's looking to better themselves. Everyone's looking to level up and take this journey to the next level and to grow and to change. And they're in the same spot that you are as well. It's like you got to let go to continue moving forward. Keep moving. So keep it moving. All right. What are some techniques for setting a positive mindset before I sleep? Well, thoughts. Thoughts are everything.
And what you're telling yourself. And
so, for instance, your mind, as you're sleeping, it's working. It's processing. It's going through. It's your subconscious is really getting to work as you're sleeping. And so what you think about, what you watch, what you listen to is in there germinating like a seed.
Just not scrolling,
right?
But thinking about where you want to go in life. And you can meditate a few minutes before bed, even though she doesn't like to meditate at night because her meditation is.
I know myself. When I go to bed at night. However, what I do is what thoughts am I drifting off to sleep? What am I thinking about? What am I visualizing? What am I putting in there? So those are things, little files, right? And kind of like a seed. If you put it in there and plant it, it's going to continue to grow. And so that's what your subconscious is doing at night. It's growing those seeds. And so, if you watch TV up until you go to bed, or you scroll on social media, or you're listening to something, or, all those types of things, what is that? Audit those things, because that's things that your mind is going to process throughout the night. And then you wonder why a lot of times you wake up the next day and it's like, I
feel like crap.
I don't feel good, or this is, and you kind of wake up with that. It's because what happened the night before. And so have a routine to turn the things off, let those be, and have some actual conscious time that you're putting good in to your mind before you go to sleep.
You can also write your goals in the evening also. And that will help because you're constantly thinking about those because you just wrote them down and they're in front of you.
So the more that you can, in the evening time, that, last half hour to 15 minutes or so up until you go to bed, that it can be actual intent of what you're doing. It's going to serve you while you're sleeping so that you wake up the next day and you're already that further ahead.
Right. You can write your power list down first, the things you're going to do the next day. Have them 1 through 5, and then you're writing your goals out, and you're going to be thinking about those.
And maybe you want to do some reading, or you do want to do think about the things that
watch what you're reading also.
Working for you, because those are the thoughts that are going to permeate throughout the evening as you're sleeping, and those are going to continue to grow. So little seeds that get planted do turn into things. So be cautious of what you're putting in. All right. Can you provide examples of a healthy morning routine? Well, this depends on you. And so we can give you a glimpse into our morning routine, but you're going to have to figure out what works best for you. On the episode, I think this was coming from, was like how you start your day matters, because it does matter. However, it's got to serve you as well. And so we can give an example. We're not going to say this is the way that you should do it. You've got to find what works for you.
Right. We get up. We do our little things in the bathroom, and then it's get dressed, right to working out. Or if we're short of time, usually we'll meditate, visualize first, then read, and then work out. Yeah. But if we're shorter on time, before we got to get the kids up, we will start our workout.
And, the short on time thing is because we knew we already did that to ourselves, right? So we have to take ownership of that. Our ideal morning, is getting up, doing our prayer, meditation, visualization, doing our reading and our goals, getting in our workout, and then getting the kids up.
Correct.
Now, maybe the night before we stayed up because we needed to get a project done or something like that. We said, okay, in the morning, We are going to cut this time down. We're going to do our workout now,
first,
right? Now, I will say, I never feel as accomplished in the morning when that's what we do. And why is that? Because I know now, later in the day, I need to be doing those things. And that's not the way that I like to do it.
When you're in the middle of doing something else.
Correct.
You want to be focused on what you're doing for the day.
So ideally, getting up and doing some sort of intentional prayer, meditation, visualization, being intentional. That can be 5 minutes, that can be 30 minutes, whatever you need. The same thing with reading. You know, getting up and putting some good things into your mind, reading some, pages of something, and then writing down your goals of where you're going, get you focused at the beginning of the day. And then getting in your workout helps you to start getting the body flowing. You've got your mind going, now we get the body flowing. And
you're happy about all the things that you already done.
And the reason I love it so much is because it's win. The more wins. The other thing that we do, which we didn't talk about, is first thing in the morning when I get up, I have my water bottle, 32 ounce next to the bed, and I drink that.
Guzzle, guzzle, guzzle.
The whole thing. Right, and then we have our Soleil, which is like a salt water type of thing that we do.
Get those
and
minerals.
So get the water going, because that starts flushing out your body as well. And then it's all about the rest of the day. In the morning sets a tone for the rest of the day. And so why are you doing these things? Could you carve out an hour or 30 minutes or 90 minutes or 2 hours out of your day to set yourself up so that you don't feel like you're constantly chasing the day? The day you've set it up for you in a way that serves you the best.
Yep.
All right. Last question. What are some tips for staying motivated and energized
Throughout the day.
Go, go, go.
Be excited about what you're going after. The reason that you're not motivated, the reason that you are lackluster, the reason that you're just blah, if you will, is because you don't have a big enough thing that you're going after. So you've got to build something that you know that everything you're doing, you're working towards
something.
Keeps you energized, keeps you motivated, keeps you moving forward. And sometimes if you're not, and you just kind of then get up and walk around. Get up and move your body. Get up and
then get back
do
into what you're
something that gets you moving and out of that funk space that you're in and keeps it flowing.
Right. And shake it off.
Yeah.
Just shake it off like a salt shaker. Shake it off.
If you get up and walk around for a few minutes, or do some jumping jacks, or go outside and get some fresh air. Maybe you get some grounding. Maybe you have some water.
Yes.
Get yourself moving.
Take those shoes off and go outside.
Get into a space of motion.
Yes. Maybe it takes some music also.
That works. We sometimes we got to change it up. We got to, and so you've got.
The kids are there, dance party.
Yeah, you've got to find what works for you, and yet. Normally, if you're feeling that way, it's because you don't have something big enough that you're going after. So look into that. But also, maybe sometimes you just have that little bit of lull and you think, you know what? It's been a couple hours since I actually got up and moved. Yes. Maybe I should do that. Or, you know what? I've been inside. I need to go out and get some fresh air, some sun. So think about...
And also standing, if you're on a computer, to have a standing desk so you're not sitting so long.
And I would track it. Is this a thing that happens every day at a certain time? Is it the 3 o'clock kind of slump where you had crap food and then you kind of did this thing and it's like, where is that? Track those times and then kind of think about what's been going on. And is this a continual thing? Is just is this today? Maybe you're just off today and you're not, or is this and then you got to work on that too.
Take that walk, go outside, do what you need to do.
Or, put something into your body that's helping you as well. So those are all questions that we have. We had lots more, but we want to keep
Thank you so much.
Short and sweet for you guys. So definitely keep them coming. We will do this weekly for you where we can answer your questions. You guys are part of the conversation. Make sure you're chiming in. Make sure you're
Thank you so much.
Sharing this. This is how we, grow and let more people know about Can Do Conversations is by word of mouth. Again,
and
conversating.
5 stars.
So definitely
1,
share
2, 3,
it.
4, 5.
Share it out there. And until next time, guys, we will talk to you guys soon. And remember, just continue doing what you need to be doing. Talk, plan, and take action. Love you guys.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.